Welcome to the May 5th, 2025 meeting of the City of Roseville Park and Recreation Commission. At this time, I'd like to have the staff secretary call the roll.
Nick Alexander.
Here.
Olive Bailey.
Here.
Jason Blessinger.
Here.
Renee Borowiak.
Here.
Kevin Hernandez.
Here.
Sandra Pollock-Cushing.
Here.
Regina Suchek.
Here.
Jeff Short.
Here. At this time, we'd like to conduct the Pledge of Allegiance, and I'd ask Commissioner Pollock-Cushing to lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next on the agenda are public comments, and at this time, I'd like to have the secretary read the procedures for addressing the Parks and Recreation Commission tonight under public comments.
Citizens addressing the commission during public comment are asked to approach the podium and are limited to 3 minutes unless extended by the chair. It must be regarding items not listed on the agenda and are within the city jurisdiction. The Brown Act does not permit any action or discussion on items not listed on the agenda. No action will be taken on items addressed under public comment.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to see if there's anybody out in the audience that would address the commission under public comments. Hearing none, we'll close public comments, and we'll move to requests. Oh, wait a minute. Let's just do the approval of the minutes. Any commissioners have any concerns on the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All right, minutes are approved. The next item on the agenda is number 5, the JM 51 Neighborhood Park Master Plan. And I'll turn that over to staff.
Good evening. I'm Tara G., your Park Planning and Development Manager. I'm here tonight to seek approval of the JM 51 Parksite Master Plan. The site is about a 2.6 acre site in the Sierra Vista area. The roads surrounding the park are Shimmer Falls Drive, Lake Haven Drive, and Whisper Wind Way. The park is located adjacent to an open space area. Public outreach included a virtual workshop held in September of 2024, where 22 residents attended. An in-person workshop was held in February of 2025, and 4 residents attended. Due to the lack of attendance during that second workshop, we solicited and sought comments and feedback on the preliminary sketch through email, and we opened that period for 1 week. We had 10 additional comments that were provided through that process. Based on the comments provided, the sketch was refined and a 2-week write-in period opened early in April 2025 and closed in mid-April. The proposed master plan includes 2 turf grass areas, a connected walkway that will connect or link to a future bike trail, a children's play area shown there in the middle, a shaded picnic area, a half court for basketball with an activity space, natural trails, bark mulch areas with pockets of landscaping, irrigation, and some undeveloped areas. 2 items were identified as budget allows. One was an extended turf grass area to the north of the play area, and the other was the half court for basketball. The master plan was well supported. However, the feedback regarding if you had one additional item that was preferred as an ad alternate, that would be either more grass or the half court with activity space, which would you rather have if budget only allowed for one of them? Residents were evenly split, so there was no lean toward one or the other. And to share, the opinions on both features were very strongly voiced. So If approved tonight, our next steps would be to go to the city council for a master plan approval. And once that's approved, we would begin construction document preparation and target the start of construction in the spring of 2026. The action being sought tonight is the approval of the JM 51 Neighborhood Park Master Plan and forward it onto the city council for formal approval pending environmental clearance. That ends my presentation, and I stand ready to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Tara. Let's bring it back to the commission here. Any of the commissioners have any comments on this JM 51 Neighborhood Park Master Plan? Let's start down this end if.
I just had a clarifying question, just for me, for all of us, but, so it says the budget consideration is $950,000, but it says the cost of constructing cannot support an $800,000?
Yeah, we do include soft costs with the overall, so that's the engineering, architectural, permitting, and inspection. So we do hold back some of that money to pay for that.
Thank you.
It's a good question.
Thank you.
2.6 acres.
So that's,
Kevin?
you might tell us $800,000 an acre.
Yeah, our normal costs, Jill was reminding me to, we are seeing costs right now at $800,000 an acre, and this is a 2.6 acre site. So that is why the design, if we were to develop the entire site, we don't have the budget for it.
So just to clarify, the question is if there's only the budget for one, would you rather have the basketball court activity paved area or that second grass area that surrounds that
Yes.
basketball court area? Well, no one asked my opinion, but I'm going to give it anyway. Just as someone, this park reminds me very much of the neighborhood park closest to my house that my kids and neighbors use frequently, and I think it can be hard to visualize when you're looking at an image like this how much grass already exists, even in just that primary grass area. So if it matters for anything, I would throw my weight behind the basketball court just as an additional amenity that wouldn't otherwise exist. One question I had, though, wouldn't necessarily change my answer, but would certainly color it a little bit. The undeveloped area, is that barky, kids can still run around and play on it, or is it weeded and dry?
Well, to the extent that we have frontage, so two sides are along the street, we try to bark mulch it with pockets of planting. The others the area adjacent to the open space and maybe even on the left side of the graphic may end up being a little less developed. So that's the balance that we're trying to create right here.
Okay, so there may even be some additional area where at least the kids can run around. It may not be
Yes.
grass, but
Yeah.
okay. Well, those are my comments.
Well, I appreciate your vote.
Thank you. Commissioner Blessinger, any comments?
I'm getting called out. Question, because you were talking about the same thing what Jeff was just saying, between the grass, does that mean that you are going to, let's say you choose to do the basketball court, is the grass around the basketball court not going to be there? Is that what you mean?
That is the question at hand. We hope we receive competitive bids and we could do both. But again, the budget is very, very tight. And so if we were able to receive competitive bids and we could only receive or do one of them, we wanted to find out what the priority was for the residents.
Is it an option to do the basketball court, no grass, and then later on looking at possible budget and then putting grass in later?
That could happen. Right now, what's happening with all parks in Sierra Vista, in the past, we've been able to put in neighborhood parks in one phase. Right now, because of the budget constraints, some of it's a cash flow issue as well, because maybe half of Sierra Vista is built right now. So there's more money to come in, and we'll see how the costs for construction either go up or are maintained. But there's a possibility that we could come in and do a second phase of all of these new parks.
Yeah.
Be a little ways away.
And I'm kind of with
Right.
Jeff, too. I like the basketball court idea, too. I'm with you, buddy.
Hey, we got 2 votes.
For all of us that don't live there.
So if the residents are equal, how are you going to make the decision? Is one option less expensive than the other?
Would look at what fits best with the budget that comes in, and certainly the feedback that we're receiving here as well does count. It does matter, so.
And that was my first thought too, but my other question to that was, is there a basketball court somewhere near in one of the other neighborhood parks?
No,
Okay.
yeah.
I was just gonna ask, I know that they were promised, the parks, when they bought the houses and things like that, so we're trying to strike a balance between what they were promised before they purchased the home versus what the budget allows us to do now. So would any of the residents, what if you guys said like that do you forecast that the budgets, that the prices are ever going to go back down? Is there something like in the near future, or is it just, we better do it now because it's just going to keep going up? Or is there any reason that there could be a slight pause in the promise, delivering on the promises so that they could have more potentially? Would that ever be a case?
Yeah, in my experience, when it never goes down. It goes up.
Right.
I was going to say
Level
that.
off.
Or I should say, is there any chance that Parks and Rec might get a grant or something that, could give us more of a fund to delve into?
We continue to seek alternative funding sources. As far as grants goes, we are not as successful in getting capital grants. Those are one-time funding sources. But that doesn't mean that there might be an opportunity coming in the future. We're always looking. And we're always trying to be creative in our funding of our parks. We stretch the dollars
I know
quite
you
far.
I don't have any questions, but I also agree that the basketball court would be better because I know a lot of different age groups like to play basketball, like adults, kids my age and stuff. So yeah.
Nick, can I ask one last?
Yes.
question? Sorry, to follow up. So you said that part of it is cash flow, so we know that there's more money coming in, and kind of speaking to your point, how much is in the fund, kind of percentage-wise, as far as kind of relative of what can be assigned right now and what might be remaining to add to it later, if available? Do you have any idea on that?
It's hard to say because the construction cost index goes up and down. But basically, we have 12 parks that are to be built in Sierra Vista. We are building right now, including the ones that you approved last month, and another one coming. No, that's all Sierra Vista. But Sierra Vista, we have 6 of the 12 parks in some form of development, whether it's under construction or in design or about to break ground this summer. So we're halfway there. Sierra Vista, don't quote me on the exact percentage, but I'd say we're about 50% built out. So we have another 50%. The challenge is that we don't know when all of the additional homes will be built, so we're pacing ourselves. So one thing we don't want to do is get to the 12th park and have nothing.
Yeah, so you need to take a first pass at everything, and then you can go back in and fill in.
Correct, and
Yeah.
see what's remaining fund balance and see what we can add on to each park. And I will, in all transparency, we would not be able to, unless something happened like a major rezone where we add more homes into the Sierra Vista area, meaning that what we forecasted, if there were more homes being built than what we planned to, that is where the additional monies would come from.
Yeah. But with additional homes comes potentially a need for additional parks,
That is true.
how many they are. If you're kind of, if there's a ratio or
the two have an associated link, yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, exactly. We still need to maintain that 9 acres per 1,000 people.
Well, I've been in the development business for 33 years. I've never seen hard costs go down. However, now, a lot of times in specific plan projects, we can have an increase in the number of units or a decrease in the number of units. Do we adjust the park fee based on the densities that eventually get built?
We have the opportunity to do it. We have not actually had to do that. The biggest one was, of course, West Roseville, but that was a different scenario. They did have several large rezones that added more homes into that area, so it made it a lot better in order to build parks that way. But you never know. That challenge is that if the market changes, and we saw this happen, that, for example, low-density residential homes aren't selling, so the development community could come in and say, medium-density residential homes are the hot market right now, and they want to rezone to that. Medium-density residential fees associated with park development are lower. So we could potentially lose dollars instead of gain dollars, but the other way around could be that a rezone could say, oh, these medium density homes aren't selling, so we'd like to, build low density, and then the money goes up. So it just really depends. It's very economically based.
Well, I say to the extent that, we monitor the intensity and density in Sierra Vista, then we adjust the fee if we can.
Yes. Yeah.
I would be in favor of that.
Yeah. We try to pay very close attention and really negotiate what's appropriate based on the request.
Okay. Any more comments for staff, commission?
One more, if I could. Actually, two more. Wanted to, on a different topic first, wanted to call out, I really like the path layout of this park. I like how at the north end, the north end, it connects to that future bike path up there. And just for all the walkers that I see in my neighborhood, the kind of more pleasant alternate path instead of just walking along the road sidewalk there, but still gets you from A to B, on a longer route. That's really nice. Back to my original comments on the basketball court, another thought occurred to me, and at the risk of, I'm sure, creating another controversy, was there any discussion around having both of those amenities and removing the shade from the play structure?
There's always discussion about shade, and that was a very high priority,
Okay.
the shade over the play structure.
Okay, thank you.
Any more?
Just one more. Is there anything that we could have done last year to have planned better or differently, or moved money from one pot to another, or did something come up that was unexpected, or that this is our first year out of my last 5 years serving, or 4.5 years, where budget hasn't really been such a constraint. I just feel like there's all of a sudden this pressure kind of dropped the last
Yeah.
meeting, where
Yeah.
now we're seeing the budget numbers, and it's just a little more. So could we have done something better that we didn't do better?
Well, the surprise or the thing that happened was COVID. COVID happened and prices went up, manufacturing went down, and the availability of labor, materials, and that type of, anything that would go into construction
And
really
since
affected us.
this master plan was approved
Yeah,
14,
affected us.
something over a decade ago, then we couldn't have planned for COVID. So this is
Yeah,
part
we
of the
couldn't have
master
done
plan
that.
from before that.
So to answer your question, why now? Sierra Vista started. Sierra Vista is underfunded. I will just be very honest and transparent about it. Before, we were in West Roseville, and we were finishing up parks there. West Roseville has become a very Roseville standard, if you will. But again, as I mentioned, it had a lot of rezones and added thousands of people into that plan area, which was a lot more monies contributing to the same number of parks. Now, West Roseville was also overparked. There were more than 9 acres per thousand, but so all of the development fees collected for parks went to those. And keep in mind, 8 of those parks within West Roseville were privately funded. It wasn't even a part of the neighborhood park fund, and so the developers in the Fitment Farm area paid for those parks. So there's a different funding, and we've moved into a different specific plan area that's growing, and so the combination of all of these things that we are just talking about have affected the way we build the parks, and we just now have to build them differently and take a different approach.
Any more questions for staff? Okay, at this time, I'd like to open this up to the public. Is there anybody in the public that would like to address this item? Please note that speakers have 5 minutes to address items, this item and listed on the agenda. Anybody in the public? Hearing none, no public comments. I'd like to close public comment and bring it back to the commission. If there are no further questions or comments, I'd entertain a motion to approve Park Site JM 51.
Motion to recommend approval of the neighborhood park master plan in Florida City Council for formal approval pending environmental clearance.
I'll second that.
Very well. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, thank you, staff. Next item on the agenda is a presentation with regard to an aquatics overview. And at this time, we'll turn it over to staff.
Good evening, Commissioners. Thank you for having us here tonight. My name is Jenna Ovens. I am a Recreation Coordinator in Aquatics.
And I'm Kelly Leffel. I'm also a Recreation Coordinator in Aquatics.
We are very excited to be here to spotlight our aquatics programs and facilities. We have 3 facilities, the Mike Shelato Indoor Pool, or MSIP, our newest facility, which recently turned 13 years old in October. This facility is open year-round and has 2 pools and an outdoor spray ground. The Roseville Aquatics Complex, or the RAC, was built in 1995. This facility has 2 pools and a spray ground and is popular for competitive use. The facility is used year-round by California Capital Aquatics, a year-round USA swim team, and during the school year by Wood Creek High School. Our own programs typically take place at the RAC during the spring and summer. Lastly, we have Johnson Pool, which is located in downtown Roseville, and it is our oldest facility. It opened in 1921. Johnson Pool is currently undergoing a complete remodel, which is going to be amazing for the community when it reopens. We'll get more into the renovations later in the presentation. Annually, between all 3 facilities, we have about 450,000 visitors each year. We offer a variety of programs throughout the year. Swim lessons, our largest program, are offered at all 3 facilities and are offered year-round at the Mike Shelato Indoor Pool. In addition to our swim lessons, we also offer a competitive focus program called the Roseville Sea Lions. This is a pre-competitive swim team where we prepare participants to join a swim team later in the future. Recreation swim is offered at all 3 of our facilities and includes open swim or public swim, parent-taught playtime, and family nights. Other popular program is lap swim. The RAC is open for lap swim during the summer, typically during our rec swim hours, while the indoor pool is open for lap swim year-round. We offer it 3 times a day, typically early morning, midday, and then at night as well. Water fitness classes take place at the indoor pool year-round as well. Currently, we offer 34 classes a week and have some classes reaching 100 to 150 participants at a time. The pools are also available for birthday parties and rentals, year-round at the indoor pool, and the summer at the RAC and Johnson Pool coming soon. Some of our rentals include very large regional swim meets, which can have over 1,000 swimmers in attendance. Some of these meets can bring people from all over the Western United States. Last, but certainly not least, we would not be able to do what we do without our wonderful employees. 95% of the aquatic staff consists of lifeguards or swim instructors, assistant pool managers, and pool managers. All of these staff are responsible for helping teach our swim lessons as well as lifeguard our pools. We also have an amazing aquatics maintenance crew that maintains all of our facilities, including the spray ground at Vernon Street Town Square and at Crab Park. Kelly is now going to highlight a few of our exciting programs.
So first, we have swim lessons. Swim lessons are offered at all 3 of our facilities, and they're one of our largest sources of revenue, about 45%, which is about $630,000. They sell out within minutes of activity registration opening to the community. Our staff really do a tremendous job with swim lessons, and they receive excellent reviews from parents at the end of each swim lesson session. This graph shows the amount of participants that have taken swim lessons with us since 2022. Still climbing out of the pandemic, we are slowly but surely getting back to pre-pandemic numbers. I would like to say that in each of these years you see here, one of our pools has been closed due to construction. We are hoping in 2025 that we hit our goal of putting 10,000 participants through swim lessons with all 3 pools open. Program revenue. On average, aquatics brings in a little over $1.4 million each year. Our swim lesson programs and fitness program make up the majority of our revenue at 65% and 29% coming from recreational swim and rentals. The remaining 6% not shown would include our competitive programs, birthday parties, rentals, and safety classes. The world's largest swim lesson is a promotional event designed to build awareness about the vital importance of teaching kids to swim to help prevent drowning. These swim lessons have a set curriculum from the world's largest swim lesson organization and primarily focus on water safety. This is a free swim lesson, and a special certificate is given to those who participate. The Water Safety Committee has rolled out a new program that offers free 10-minute presentations to the public during weekday swim lessons. We have topics that include drowning recognition, boat and lake safety, choking, cold water, and hot tub safety. Water Safety Poolooza is a new event that will bring water safety awareness to the community. The event will be held at the Roseville Aquatics Complex on May 31st, and we'll have booths from different organizations around the Roseville area. Some of these organizations include the Roseville Police Department, the Roseville Fire Department, Placer County Sheriff's Department, U.S. Coast Guard, and the Roseville Library. We currently have 115 year-round lifeguard and swim instructor staff, with those numbers reaching 150 during the summer months. Safety is our number 1 priority, and in order to ensure the safety of all our patrons that enter our facilities, we can only bring on so many new lifeguards at one time to ensure our staff are properly trained. What are our challenges? We find ourselves competing with after-hour school requirements, summer school, extracurricular activities, other jobs, certification requirements, and parents withholding transportation to work as a punishment. And I wish I was kidding. So what are we doing to heighten our recruitment efforts? We are actively recruiting at local high schools, in their career centers, talking to their water polo and swim teams, and attending swim meets and job fairs. At the PRL job fair this year, we had 63 people stop by our aquatics table to inquire about becoming a lifeguard and swim instructor this summer. Each year, we host a lifeguard preview day at the Mike Shelito Indoor Pool with the hope to get more kids excited about our lifeguarding position. They gain insight to the daily roles and responsibilities of a lifeguard, practice water rescues and CPR first aid, and observe our swim lessons in action. What are we doing to keep staff? Culture. We continue to strive for a positive workplace culture where staff feel safe to offer suggestions, get to work with their friends, feel part of a team, and ultimately love being at work. We also recognize staff for their hard work and dedication by giving out awards at staff trainings. Impact. We are showing our staff how they make an impact in their community, whether that be saving lives by teaching someone to swim or preventing a drowning. Incentives. We have separate pay rates for swim instructors and lifeguards. Having a separate rate for teaching swim lessons allows us to stay competitive and acts as an incentive for staff to want to teach more lessons. By having more staff that can teach lessons, we are able to provide more opportunity for additional lessons so more children may be registered for classes. Decorative pins have become a huge part of our culture and incentives. We offer them for a number of things, such as outstanding customer service, which we call a positive potato, 100% training attendance, and cleaning up unfortunate messes. Reimbursement. Employees who work at least 150 hours and teach 4 sessions of lessons are reimbursed for their lifeguard training course fees, which can be up to $250. Jenna will now talk about a few of our new facility upgrades and programs.
Okay. Last summer, we began construction and remodeling of Johnson Pool. A few exciting features that you can look forward to are a zero-depth beach entry into the pool, a new shade structure and leveling of the landscape, a train-themed tot slide, which is pictured up on the top up there, and a new 14-foot twist slide, which is coming summer of 2026. We are very excited about all of those things. We're also able to work with Union Pacific to help fund a beautiful train-themed mural at Johnson Pool. The rendering is shown here. We are elated to make Johnson Pool an unforgettable destination for families to enjoy. We plan to have a grand reopening ceremony, and the official date will be announced by mid-May. We will make sure Commission will be notified of that date. Under the RAC, the Roseville Aquatics Complex is turning 30. We will be hosting a birthday party for the Roseville Aquatics Complex with the theme of Under the RAC. Get it? Under the sea? Yeah. The community can look forward to a free day of recreational swim and underwater themed crafts and decorations. We look forward to hosting the community on July 12th to help us celebrate this huge milestone. This year, we had our very first floating egg extravaganza. We put 10,000 eggs in the pool with 1,000 rubber ducks. Our first event, we had 711 participants, which was amazing. Next year, we plan on offering 3 sessions for this event, including a sensory-sensitive time. We had arts, crafts, bounce houses, and games, the walking egg, and our friend the bunny even made a visit. And soon we'll be gearing up for our highly anticipated Floating Pumpkin Patch event, which will take place on October 19th. That completes the presentation for this evening. Thank you all for listening, and we hope to see you out on the pool deck this summer. We are also happy to answer any questions at this time.
Thank you. Nice presentation. Let's bring it back to the commission here. Are any commissioners have any questions of staff?
I just want to say thank you, because what you do is so, you're making an impact on every kid, not even talking about the impact that you have on your instructors. It's, you're making such a difference. And I was just telling Commissioner Bailey that, the water safety is just such a major concern for me when I'm sending my kids to Adventure Club camp and stuff. So they're doing the swim program right now. And I also loved that 4-day abbreviated thing that my son did that last week to prepare him for the swim classes. And I don't think I could send them to camp I can't teach them that level of water safety. You guys are the experts. So I just want to say thank you for keeping all of our kids safe in Roseville, because that could change very easily. So bravo to you and your team.
Thank you
so much.
Any other comments?
I had a quick question. I know in a few past years, we've had limitations or we've had waiting lists for class participants. I think when some of the pools were under maintenance, and I think there was some challenges getting the lifeguards needed to support everything. How are we doing this year? It sounds like a lot of that we're overcoming.
We are basically back up to full staffing levels. Full transparency, we did hire 40 new lifeguards, which got trained over the weekend. So we're pretty well staffed. For our swim lessons, we did offer a new thing called interest lists. So we don't have wait lists for specific classes anymore. So when classes do open up, we send an email out to about 1,000 people, and they fill up within 30 seconds. So we're seeing a lot of full classes. We're even able to open classes because we have bigger staffing numbers. So we've seen a big recovery in that front. So
excellent.
I was shocked. I actually got an email that I had my name on the interest list. I got an email last week saying that there's spots in these different classes, and I was kind of call right away to grab it. So
that's good news.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments? Well,
I have a quick one.
go ahead.
Quick one, sorry. What's the minimum age requirement to be a lifeguard?
15 years old.
So, okay.
Well, my son, who is currently a lieutenant in the U.S. Navy, was a lifeguard for you folks for about 5 years. And believe it or not, there's some people on his ship that don't know how to swim. They rely on the life jacket. But what he's done is he takes some of his shipmates that don't know how to swim, he takes them to the pool and teaches them how to swim. And that's because of the training he got from you folks.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
Anyway. All right, at this time, I'd like to open this to the public. Is there anybody in the public that would like to address this item? Hearing none, we'll close this item to the public, and being that this is just a presentation, there's no action needed by the commission. We'll move on to the next item on the agenda, which is a spotlight on PRL's golf courses.
Good evening, everybody. I think that's working okay. My name's Rob Nakamura. I'm Recreation Superintendent over our sports section, our Recreation Division. I'm here representing our sports team, which is newly kind of formed. We kind of reorganized this past January, which includes Recreation Manager Jeff Nerson, Recreation Supervisor Justin DiPlacido, and Recreation Coordinator Chris Pelsman. So we are a small but mighty team. This group oversees all of our adult sports programs, our youth sports coalition, sports field rentals, our golf courses, and also our new Placer Valley soccer complex scheduled to open in late 2025 or maybe early 2026. We're not committing. It's coming. Anyways, today's spotlight will be on our golf courses. I just wanted to mention that we don't have any City of Roseville staff that are assigned to the golf courses other than myself, who oversees our operators. So we have two contractors. One oversees operations, the pro shop, as well as the restaurant, food and beverage services. That's SRI Golf. Our other contractor is Brightview Golf, and they perform all the maintenance duties at both golf courses, Wood Creek and Diamond Oaks. Recently, Diamond Oaks celebrated the 60-year anniversary, which that course opened in 1963, which was super exciting to honor that golf course. And this year, we're celebrating Wood Creek. As you can see on the screen, it's our 30th anniversary. It opened in August of 1995. Lots of celebrations with our pools and now our golf courses. So at Wood Creek, for the 30th anniversary, we're promoting kind of Play It Again for the first time. If you saw on the slide before, we recently completed a bunker renovation project, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later in the presentation. But that Play It Again for the first time is to really get people back out to Wood Creek, experience it again. The bunker renovation really changed some holes, but also the golf course is looking really good and improving. Staying on this slide, we have some anniversary weekend events planned. Although the actual anniversary is in August, we've designated May 29th through June 1st as our anniversary weekend, as August was already kind of booked up at the golf course. But we're excited SRI will be putting on some fun activities, and they'll have specials planned for that anniversary weekend, including live music, food and range specials, putting contests, kids zones activities, and then we'll finish it off with a Sunday anniversary brunch. This past weekend, we actually had a anniversary golf tournament on Friday and Saturday, May 2nd and 3rd. That was a kind of a pro-am format where they had partner competition, and that was exclusive to Golf Roseville members and their guests. And speaking of golf tournaments, we also just hosted the 28th annual Mayor's Cup. It was on Friday, April 25th. That was put on in partnership with SRI Golf, Brightview Golf Course, and our presenting sponsor, Placer Valley Tourism. As you can see in the photos, we really tried to highlight kind of the 90s was our theme. It was kind of bringing everybody back to 1995 with the colorful golf attire there. Most people were out there to not necessarily compete for the low score, but they were actually there to compete for best dressed. So, and you can see, I think some of our winners are actually our winner was actually photoed with the Chick-fil-A cow right there in the middle. But anyways, I wanted to shout out our event team for their hard work and creativity to make it a great day. Also, a lot of our sponsors who assisted on the golf course. We had the Roseville Auto Mall. They sponsor our hole-in-one, where if you made a hole-in-one, you'd actually win a Subaru Forester. Monk's Brewery, Andy and the brewmasters there provided beer tasting on hole 7. We had Buckethead Barbecue with sliders at the turn. Chick-fil-A was there with raffle prizes and sandwiches for volunteers. Trader Joe's had snacks in our swag bags for our players. Perryman Painting and Remodeling had a photo booth on the first tee, which the people had fun with that. Sac Ice donated ice for the event. The Roseville Police Activities League, RPAL, had volunteers assisting with the check-in, and our Operation Swim team, which you heard a little bit on our aquatics team, but Operation Swim was out there hosting our chipping contest, trying to have players hit a big giant rubber ducky. And then our presenting sponsor, Placer Valley Tourism, had a trail mix station, and Kim and Sulin were awesome. They actually had velour tracksuits. You don't see those very often, but celebrating the 90s, so shout out to them. Anyways, I wanted to thank Mayor Bernasconi and the Roseville City Council for always coming out and supporting the event, and many of you were able to attend as well. Thank you, and our director, Jill Geller, helped to make that event possible. All the proceeds for that event helps to support our PRL program scholarships for Roseville kids and families. And to highlight a few of those programs that they get to benefit would be Operation Swim, where they get swimsuits, towels, and swim lessons. Also, our Sparks program keeps kids busy all summer long in our neighborhood parks. And in fact, last year, because of events like Mayor's Cup, we were able to award over $40,000 in scholarships to Roseville kids and their families to participate in recreation programs. As you can see on the slide there, we had a lot of support from the business community, so thanks to the Roseville Business and Development Committee that came through with, yet again, the sponsorships to help max out the event with 156 players. There's too many to name. I won't go through them, all of them, but those are our sponsors that you can see on the screen. So as far as operation goes, for both courses, I mentioned SRI Golf. They are a contractor who run the pro shop and the restaurants. Some of their upcoming events include Wine and Wedges. It's a golf clinic that has wine tasting and hors d'oeuvres. They have a Mother's Day brunch coming up. Thursday night music on the patio is super popular, super nice on the golf course, especially over at Wood Creek, to enjoy the nice weather and some live music. And then the annual Legends Charity Golf Tournament that comes up in September that benefits Foothill Canine Association. But as far as the business side of golf, on the next slide, I wanted to take a look at some of our rounds so you can kind of see how we've been doing over the last 10 years. As you can see, in 2000, well, I guess just for point of reference, the last 10 years, rounds played 2015 to 2024. The top line is Diamond Oaks, and the bottom line, the darker line, is Wood Creek. But golf rounds were kind of on a downward trend. Strangely, I think Tara mentioned COVID earlier as kind of a change in how things have operated or impacted things. Actually, on the golf side, it actually impacted golf pretty positively. That was one of the first activities that were approved and reopened with restrictions when we came out of COVID or in the middle of COVID, and then we really saw trends take off in 2020. So Wood Creek in particular is almost back to 2015 levels, and Diamond Oaks has been consistently generating about 55,000 rounds, and together both courses have been generating over 100,000 rounds, which is actually a really positive trend for us. We've also seen a lot of demographic changes in the market where it's still popular among seniors, but we're also seeing a lot more ladies and youth coming out to the golf courses, which is a great trend to see, especially for the future. Next slide, please. So just to highlight youth participation a little bit, SRI, as I mentioned, provides summer camps. They have clinics. We work with the First Tee of Greater Sacramento. They do annual events at both golf courses, which is great. Drop-in clinics for youth and adults are becoming more and more popular. As you can see in some of the numbers, even high school golf has really taken off. So back where high school had 3,500 participations in 2021, they're up to over 5,600 in 2024. So they're really using our golf courses, which is great. If you're curious, Diamond Oaks hosts Oakmont High School, Granite Bay High School, and Roseville High School. And at Wood Creek, West Park and John Adams Academy uses that golf courses. And for those kids that are playing high school golf, they get discounted range balls and rounds for their matches and practice rounds. So, and then on the maintenance side, I wanted to Highlight Brightview Golf Maintenance is our contractor who provides maintenance at both of the golf courses, and overall, we're very pleased with their expertise and service levels. Superintendent Jeff Fagerhog does a great job of maintaining our greens, and when we do our customer surveys, that's the one thing that we score the best on is our greens, which is kind of the bread and butter of a golf course, which is great. However, at both golf courses, we've struggled with some of the aging infrastructure, and our maintenance crews have struggled to, at times with drainage that's crushed and outdated irrigation heads. But some of the comments on the kind of the need to improve side of things or our challenges, it would be the wetness in particular at Wood Creek, and that's something that we feel like we've really solved over the last couple of years. So address these concerns, and the other one at Wood Creek that we've scored lower on are the bunkers. And so those are the two projects that I wanted to highlight. We did turf conversion at Wood Creek as well as a bunker renovation. So to start with the turf transition, in the summer months, the water was really due to drainage issues and some irrigation head placements, but the root cause is really water management, especially during the peak heat time frame. So when Wood Creek was predominantly made up of cool season grasses, these turf types tend to burn out in the summer, and so it kind of created those spotty kind of conditions where you can see it's kind of worn back in 2021 in that photo. Conversely, at Diamond Oaks is mostly Bermuda, and that thrives in the summertime. And so we had two different golf courses with two different turf types. We made the decision after consulting with Brightview Golf and their head of agronomy that was going to serve us well if we transitioned to Bermuda turf at Wood Creek. And so we've been doing that over the last several years. As you can see in 2025, that's the same exact fairway, hole number 7, and it's really responded well. It's finally filled in. It's just been a long process to get there. So we think we've made the right decision. Bermuda tends to be more durable. It provides a smooth playing surface for the golf courses, and it thrives in warmer climates. So in the Sacramento region, in the summertime, that's when people are out playing golf, we want our golf courses to look the best, and that's why we switched over to Bermuda. The other project I wanted to highlight is our bunker renovation project. And so, again, I should share that according to the USGA, the average life expectancy for bunkers is about 10 to 15 years, and obviously we just celebrated our 30-year anniversary. It's time. What happens with sand traps or bunkers is that the drainage underneath fails. All the maintenance over the years kind of crushes things down, and it's really hard to maintain and keep up. A lot of the bunkers were filling up with water, which created weeds and mosquitoes, and so it was just a compounded problem. We brought on Kevin Norby Golf, who was our golf course architect that helped us kind of reimagine, redesign the golf course. He's got a plan for all 18 holes, but we decided to move forward with phase 1. And this project was completed in last September. Started in late August, but went throughout the month of September. And so you can see which holes we kind of tackled on the slide there. We got 1, 3, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 16. So this project kind of adjusted the layout for each hole. It changed the location, the size, the shape of each bunker, and really it was to improve conditions for the player, but also to help maintenance. And so we reduced the volume of sand, the volume of bunkers, the square footage of bunkers was reduced, and that's really going to help with our maintenance in the long term. So if we move on to the next slide, thank you. We have, part of this project, 18 new bunkers, again, resized, reshaped, reimagined, and sometimes relocated. We eliminated 17 total bunkers. We went from 52 to 34. We had 17,000 square feet of bunkers that were eliminated as part of that phase 1. In addition to the kind of the construction project, we're installing liners. This is hoping to increase the longevity of the bunkers when you put in those liners. So in that photo 3, you can kind of see it's called porous pave. It's kind of a rubber-based kind of permeable material that helps with drainage, and it separates the soil material from the sand. So we've installed over 20,000 square feet of new sod, replaced about 70 outdated irrigation heads, and we're super excited that that project is behind us. We stayed open the entire project, although it may have impacted rounds a little bit. We got creative with keeping the golf course open and hoping for phase 2 down in the future. And I know I talked a lot about Wood Creek, and we do have Diamond Oaks, and sometimes we tend to forget about that golf course, but it's doing really well. And some of our recent projects at Diamond is driving range net replacement and poles. We had an ADA ramp and driving range improvement. We had a railroad tie staircase replacements, parking lot resurfacing and ADA stalls, fencing replacements, parking lot landscapes refreshed, and also irrigation head replacements. So we're hoping to complete some more projects in fiscal year 26 over at Diamond Oaks, which would include some T resurfacing, bunker renovation, bridge repairs, and drainage projects. So super busy, and we're hoping to kind of keep that momentum going. As we plan for the future, we're also completing a golf course conditions assessment. We're going to hire a consultant to help us with that, and the effort would be to map out a 10-year improvement plan. So with that, I'll open it up to questions.
Rob, thank you for that nice presentation. It was quite impressive. Let's bring it back to the commission at this time. The commissioners have any questions or comments?
So, Rob, I've been attending Wood Creek Golf Course for a very long time, 20 years. And one of the things that I remember way back when is Wood Creek used to be known for their movies on the driving range and Halloween events, Christmas events, Easter events, and I've noticed over the years those have really started to taper off a little bit. Is that something that you guys are interested in bringing back or suggesting bringing back? Only because I know the Thursday night music is really popular out there. I know the people that live in the community and in that area really enjoy being able to walk down there and spend time out there.
Yeah. Glad you brought that up, Kevin. So we really view both golf courses as community centers. And so I think sometimes you think of a golf course as just for the golfing public, but it's much more than that with the restaurant and everything that we have. Unfortunately, we did lose some momentum with some of those movie night events. And, I want to blame everything on COVID, but that was part of it. Our golf course operator puts those events on, and so it's their ability to kind of staff back up and get to a service level where they can feel like they can bring some of those back. I think they do want to bring movie nights back, but probably not as many, probably a couple of year, because they're pretty labor intensive. But there are so many cool opportunities of different types of programming you can do on a golf course without impacting the golfers, and our operators embrace that, and they're always looking to be creative to add more types of programs. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I've also never golfed there, so that's why I asked these questions.
Case in point.
Exactly.
Questions from the commission? Well, I'm usually a pretty good range card purchaser, and I usually go to Diamond Oaks, but you mentioned the high school kids, and I'm usually late in the afternoon. It's nice to see the high school kids use our facilities. It gives it some vibrancy. So, all right, if there's no other questions, I'd like to open it up to the public. Is there anybody in the public that would like to address the commission on our golf courses? Hearing and seeing none, we're going to close public comment, and if there's no more questions or from the commission, being this was a presentation, we'll end this right here. Thank you, Rob. Okay. Next item on the agenda are the benefits of vegetation and management within our within our natural areas.
Good evening, Commissioners. I'm Eric Dexter. I'm a Parks and Open Space Superintendent, and this is...
I'm Michael Bradley. I'm a Division Chief, and I'm your Fire Marshal.
This presentation tonight will focus on the benefits of vegetation management, emphasizing its role in the health of our natural areas and reducing fire risk. So why do we need vegetation management? Well, of course, fire prevention and safety is one of the key roles for that. Throughout the whole city, we have to reduce the fire risk. Suppression of our invasives. So that's a key area for the vegetation management. And of course, by reducing that, we're promoting the growth of native species in our areas. Another key thing is riparian management of our creeks. We have 74 miles of creeks, and we have to manage some of the vegetation within those areas. And of course, aesthetics, right? Making these areas look good to the community. We have various areas of vegetation, right? We have them in our natural areas, along our bike trails, our natural trails within our areas, creeks, like I mentioned, city-owned undeveloped parcels, and then private properties at the request of the fire department that we work through. To complete this work, it takes a team effort. It's our internal staff, contractors, and animals doing the trimming, removing, and eating along the way. As you can see in this picture, this is one of our staff last week, actually, just out there knocking down all the weeds, because we started it the last few weeks. It takes a few months to get all the areas completed, so we started it. It's always a timing thing every year to get it done, so we have to time it just right, and so we've started on it, and we'll be busy doing it for the next few months. Yeah. And then the types of equipment we use. So we use a variety of equipment to get this work done. We use string trimmers and brush cutters, as you can understand, do the heavy duty work. But we also use equipment like this. This is, in this picture, it's our Avant. We call it the green machine. And it's articulating loader that can do lots of different things for us beyond just loading. It can do a flail mower, so we can go out there and flail mow some of the fields. We have one of these units, and we just got another one on the way. We also use a tractor, so similar to a flail mower, the tractor has a little bit wider flail mower, so we have basically 3 flail mowers going on at once. We also use spray tanks. Sometimes, especially along the trails, we'll do spraying, pre-emergent spraying, so we prevent some of the weeds coming up on those trail areas. We'll also use chainsaws to remove large vegetation, right? So depending on the size and scope of it, we'll get our chainsaws out and remove those, which can become hazardous to certain areas or be obstructions within our creek areas. One of the important things too for this process with vegetation management is our quality assurance program that we do, working with our contractors to make sure they understand what our standards are. During this time of year, we dedicate one staff member, Randy Swanson. She's one of our natural resource workers, and one of her main roles for the next 3, actually from now till probably early October, is working with our contractors to make sure that not only are they doing the fire breaks, but all the other vegetation management we do, and she works with them and not only keeps track of what the work they're doing, but she follows up and ensures that they do a quality job. If they don't, we'll call them back and they'll redo it, and then check in with our staff as well. But we also can't forget the help we get from our 4-legged friends, the goats, right? They offer a lot of things, right? The benefits of them. They offer natural weed management, reducing the use of chemicals within our natural areas. They help reduce invasive species, fire mitigation, by reducing thatch and even the fuel ladder within those areas. They have a low environmental impact compared to the equipment we just talked about. This year, we're doing a project where we're trying to reduce some invasives in one of our areas, the star thistle, in our Wood Creek Oak Preserve. And the key to that is timing. So we're trying to get the goats in there right before the plant's seeding, right before it seeds. You can get in there and they eat it, and then the seed doesn't produce. That's a long-term approach. We have to do it over several years. It takes anywhere from 3 to 5 years to actually have an impact, but we've seen that success in other areas. And so this one particular area, we're seeing an increase of star thistle, so we're trying to reduce that by using the goats strategically. There's an economic benefit. Many of the goats areas they go into are very challenging to get to. The terrain is steep, or some of the ravines we have to deal with. We probably couldn't afford to get equipment in there or the labor that it would take to actually get it done. So that makes it more economical. Educational. This past year we hosted a meet and greet with the goats at Maidu and Mahaney in the summer, where we had several thousand people attend. And it was a great opportunity for the community to interact, especially kids, to learn more about why we use goats, but also get to pet some baby goats and check that out. And we're planning to do it again this year. We don't have the dates for that, but we're going to do it this summer. And then the community. The community really loves the goats, as many of you know. It often draws crowds just to check them out. People look forward to seeing these goats every year. It never surprises me how much people love them. And this helps really raise awareness of land stewardship and natural resource management. So this is our famous goat tracker on the city website. So if you ever want to know, if you're curious where the goats are, they'll show up on the goat tracker, and we update that regularly. Currently, as you can see on this map, they're at Denio Family Park. They're munching down all the weeds to get it ready for the park dedication on on the 17th of this month. So that's going to look good for the dedication. We currently have 2 herds within the city, but at the peak we'll have about 6 herds. The goats graze approximately 1,500 acres per year in the city. The goats help with vegetation and fire breaks, and we have a great partnership with the fire department to complete the fire breaks over the next few months, and Michael will talk a little more about that.
Thank you. So annually, the fire department identifies vacant, undeveloped parcels. We do that through GIS and notify those property owners to abate the weeds on their property. And then we work alongside parks to prioritize and plan the abatement process throughout the city. So as we get new parcels that are donated to the city or that we take possession of, we'll go out and we'll prioritize, when that particular parcel will fit into the current master plan for vegetation management. The goal is all to have this weeds abated by July 1st. That's just a time it before 4th of July, because that will reduce the risk of wildfires in the city over the 4th of July weekend. We take into account rainfall. Like Eric had mentioned, it is really challenging just to kind of time the abatement of those weeds, because you don't want to have to ask the property owner to do it twice. If you catch it too early and then there's additional rainfall and there's another period of growth, and just make sure that doesn't become a fire hazard later in the year, we'll ask them to abate it a second time. So we really try and be very careful about how we plan that. The dates that we plan the abatement process to be completed by. And then the priority, of course, is the 30-foot fire breaks on city-owned and private vacant parcels, and that's just to reduce the risk of impact of the wildland fire as it approaches homes.
So one of the things that we use to help and work with the fire department to prioritize these areas is we have a map within GIS. Our in-house staff currently does around 80 acres of fire breaks in these open space areas, and our contractor completes 195 acres. So it's quite a bit of area. And what we do is we prioritize them using different colors on this map. So I just wanted to use one example. The red areas are the 30-foot fire breaks that Michael just mentioned. Those are high priorities that we have to complete before July 1st. The blue areas are 8-foot vegetation areas that are done and removed either before July 1st or after July 1st. It's not as critical. And then the green areas are general vegetation that can be done at any point. The map, you can see, has captured the risk of any. The reason why we do the map is so we reduce the risk of missing any areas. So we want to make sure we capture all these areas. So as we add new areas, we add them to the map every year. So in order to not miss any areas. Some kind of final thoughts in conclusion. Effective vegetation management plays a pivotal role in fire risk reduction and the overall health of our natural areas. By coordinating with the fire department, contractors, in-house staff, we are promoting native species, suppressing invasive species, and creating fire breaks so we can help with the public safety and ensure the sustainability of our natural areas for years to come. And with that, is there any questions?
Thank you. Commissioners, do you have any questions of staff? Hearing,
Are commissioners allowed to drive the green machine?
We have to do a safety course.
Doesn't hurt to ask.
If there are no questions from the commission, I'd like to open this to the public for any comments. Hearing and seeing none, I'm going to close public comment. I just have one comment. I back up to Linda Creek, so I watch your production every year. What amazes me is on the goats is that they could chew through star thistle. I mean, think about that.
Yeah.
Okay. If there aren't any more questions or comments from the commission to staff, this is a presentation, so there's no action needed by the commission. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, next item on the agenda are staff comments.
I just have a few comments. There is a lot going on, can you tell? And so much has happened since this commission met last month. Many of you were at the Weber Park rededication on April 12th, and that was such a lovely event, so thank you all for coming. We probably had more than 100 people at the dedication in the morning, and then the Kings came out in the afternoon and did a youth clinic. So I think over the course of the day, we had well over 200 people come and enjoy the park and see all its newness. And I continue to drive by on a regular basis and make sure people are still there, and they are. I think a lot of people are enjoying the new Weber Park. You got an email from me, but I'll repeat the information that I sent. The first being last week, the accreditation team came, 3 representatives from throughout the country, and we passed. So it's been a long, arduous process. At the end of their 3-day visit, when we took them on tours, we had meetings, and we finished with an exit interview. They did tell us it's their assessment that we passed all 100% of the 154 standards. So that was quite an achievement for our team, but it's not a done deal. At the National Recreation and Park Conference in September, we have to go to a hearing with the National Board when they will hopefully support that recommendation. And so we'll let you know when we return from that in September. But that was quite a rewarding experience. And then while the team was here, we also learned that we were a national gold medal finalist once again. This is our 4th consecutive year. I've told you many times, that's an award from the National Recreation and Park Association, as well as the Academy for Administration of Park and Recreation Administration. And we are in Class 2, which is populations of 150,000 to 400,000. And so we're proud to be a finalist again with Arlington County, Virginia, Henderson, Nevada, and Gilbert, Arizona. So if you've gone to any of those communities, I'm sure they have stellar park and recreation departments, but we're up against them this year. Eric mentioned the Denio Family Park dedication on May 17th, so I hope you all have that on your calendar. And you've also heard tonight Wood Creek is 30 years old, the Roseville Aquatics Complex is 30 years old, Mahaney Fitness Center is 25 years old, so we have a lot of celebrating to do this year. Johnson Pool will reopen this summer, and it's going to be outstanding. And the soccer complex will open later this year. So a lot of projects that we've really been working on for many years seem to be coming to fruition in 2025. So it's a great year.
Any comments from the commission?
I have a quick question. When is the mural going up on Johnson Pool? I drive by that every day, so I want to see when I can start seeing that.
It will not happen until after the pool opens.
Gotcha.
So we don't have the exact dates for that yet, but we're coordinating that now.
Okay, so I'll have to wait a little longer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other comments?
Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you.
Express to the Denio family that I will be unable to make the park dedication. My twin daughters are graduating from San Diego State on the 17th, and I almost got them off the payroll. So.
And I think we all agree that's an excused absence.
Park, the Denio family has been my client for 2 decades. And the one park I wanted to make was this one. But anyway, with the girls graduating, I just can't make it.
I just want to add something. First of all, thank you for including the commissioners in the at the breakfast to meet the accreditation team. Thank you to the accreditation team. They were fantastic. It was such a great experience getting to meet them. And I wanted to thank the Sacramento Kings because that workshop that they did with the kids was magical. My kids were lucky enough to participate in it, since we participate in absolutely everything. But they had a wonderful time. They all got T-shirts, autographed T-shirts from the players. The mascot was there. It was magical seeing people just walking around the perimeter of Weber Park, and it was all day. Every time I passed, people are there. I said, like I told you, that really gave me it kind of ignited the fire again of why I love Parks and Rec so much. So congratulations for everything. Your team deserves it all, and we're just here to make you look better. So, but it was nice that you made us a part of the whole process, so thank you.
All right, if there are no further comments from the commission, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you all.